This week on Chump for Chumps, we're talking about NFL free agency. Alright, Devon, so a lot's happened so far in NFL free agency. It's been a wild season. I know I've been enjoying it. What would you say has been the biggest move, or maybe the most surprising move so far?
Brandon Marshall trade to the Jets.
Really?
Yep.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
I know you're a bit of a Jets fan. You like what the Jets do. You like their quarterback, inexcusably.
Lobbying Geno Smith for MVP.
That's a ridiculous statement. I don't know how you could defend that, but
That's why it's the best pick.
that's
Geno's
why
going to be MVP because of that
magically. What is he's still going to throw 20 picks a game?
He's still
A
gonna
season
win.
at least.
trade. Still going to
He's
win
gonna win?
12 games.
Yeah, well now the Jets become much more interesting with Brandon Marshall, and briefly they had Harvin too. Now they released Harvin.
Now Todd Bowles, though. That's very interesting.
Yeah, but I mean with Geno and now because they had Decker before, so Decker,
Still do.
Marshall,
Number 2.
and they got who's their running back?
Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory, right? So I mean solid sort of thing, and their defense has always been stout, kept them in games. So I mean the
Yeah,
Jets.
especially their secondary now.
Yes, yeah, no kidding.
Revis.
With their secondary, Darrell
Cromartie.
Revis, they paid him a lot of money.
He's worth it.
He probably is. I know.
Last season he was probably the
Is he
best
the-
corner in the game.
I was just gonna ask
Yeah.
you. So he's the best
He had a
corner.
better year than Sherman did.
Would you say people duck Sherman like the Black Plague? No.
The
You
only
don't
one
think
was
so?
the first game of the season. I was so mad
Wow.
when they lined up a rookie against
Yeah,
Sherman,
and yeah.
and then they lost.
Took him to school, and yeah, but so Revis, it's like 5 years, 70 million,
Yeah.
with 39 guaranteed.
Yep.
So that's the Jetsby said. He says he wanted to come back home, and that was the main reason he did it.
Which
But
is-
he probably came back for the money.
Yeah, which is
let's get
weird.
real.
Because coming back home, you'd expect coming back home to the same people. Nobody's there since when he was there.
Well, yeah,
So why would
and
he
you
come
always
back
heard
home?
things like that he was disputing or having arguments with the owners, and they wouldn't ever pay him. I guess now
Yep.
that's settled. But it's
weird.
I thought he was gonna restructure and sign back with New England, honestly, and just have to fit into that Belichick. We all take less money.
Yeah,
we all,
we'll take big money for
and
a
then
year,
and then he would be cut 3 years from now.
Yeah.
I thought that was the road he was going down, but I guess not. But I mean, the Jets makes them a much more interesting team in that division.
Which is weird because they have, I think, three first round cornerbacks with Milliner, Cromartie,
Yeah,
and Revis.
yeah,
So you think that they'd get rid of Milliner
probably.
because he can't be. They even got Buster Shrine from Cleveland.
Buster Shrine, right? Yeah.
So they got.
So they're deep. They're
have
deep in
depth
the
in
secondary, for sure. That whole division has been really making some noise, trying to
God.
all improve. I mean, New England's dominated the AFC East for years, but
I think everyone's trying to compete with New England. That's why everyone's.
I think people sense this could be the start of the end, maybe, where this was their last, and now maybe Brady's getting
I
too
don't know.
old, and because I mean the Bills
Yeah, the
Bills
Bills
probably
are
should have made the
interesting.
playoffs this year if they had like an average quarterback. I mean, Kyle Orton was not special for them, and they lost some stupid games on the stretch, like Kansas City, and
They lost games they shouldn't have.
their defense just held them in. So I mean, now they're coming. I'm gonna command the Bills bandwagon. See, they got my boy Rex. Love me
Oh,
some Rex
God.
Ryan. I like Shady McCoy. And
Yeah,
you
Shady's
know what?
Not bad.
Percy. Percy
I
Harvin
don't
fan
know.
number one right
I
here.
don't know.
Their offense is
Who are they
improved.
going to start at quarterback? They gonna
That is
start
an excellent
Taylor
question.
Or EJ?
Maybe they draft a quarterback.
They can't.
Is that
They
possible?
got 2 young quarterbacks. They can't draft another one. Because
Maybe
Tyrod
they have to.
Taylor.
I don't
is,
know. I don't know who he. I don't think AJ Manuel's going to be a starter for them. I think he was a bust.
I don't know. He's this conservative guy that always does checkdowns. Do you think you want someone like that with a great defense?
Maybe, but I mean, even like you hear stuff like he had no command in the huddle, and he didn't command things. When Kyle Orton was there, he the reins. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
In the huddle, and I think that's important. But if you're going to run an offense, that's important.
They all fell in love with the gunslinger. He was.
I think he
was good his first couple weeks, and then.
Yeah, and then he was Kyle Orton again. Yeah,
because they got some real nice receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Watkins.
I like
Robert Woods. That's my boy.
Robert Woods, yeah,
that's
that's
character.
Dynamic. That's a dynamic, interesting. I mean, divisional matchups are going to be pretty good, especially now with Miami. I mean, Miami's always been. I had them.
They're very inconsistent, though.
Very inconsistent. I had them making the playoffs this year in my little scribbled down notes. You remember?
Yeah.
Remember when I did that? I had them 10-6, and they weren't too far off. Problem is, it's Ryan Tannehill is just. He's all right.
And what weapons does he have now? He doesn't have as much as he did last year.
But, I mean, I guess Mike Wallace was a poison in that dressing room. I mean, he took himself out that last game. I mean, it might be addition by subtraction sort of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but all they have is, what's that rookie? Jarvis? Landry, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
He's like best friends with Odell.
Yeah,
that's their number one, and then they got Jordan Cameron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
no, yeah. I don't know. The offense, obviously, they made a big move on defense. It was one of the first reported things in free agency. Ndamukong Suh.
But he didn't sign until second day. Surprising.
Yeah, it was weird after hearing that, and then it wasn't finalized and agreed upon. But that's a lot. Like, that's more than Watt's making, isn't it?
Yeah,
per year.
Is paid.
Which I guess, I mean, you're not going to say Sue's better than Watt.
We play different positions, though, so you can't.
That's true, but on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, you don't see a lot of guys making that type of money, and so I think some people were scratching their heads, but it's understandable because in free agency, you're hardly going to get a valuable contract. You're going to have to overpay.
Yeah, if you don't overpay him, you're gonna lose him.
You're not gonna get him. So
even if he is a franchise player, which I don't think he is, but
no, I've never been like I've always thought he was a good player.
When he's on his game, he could disrupt in the backfield pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And now it's just, I don't know if he's as great as everyone thinks, or everyone like I think. What people think of him is higher than what he actually does. Yeah. Like if you really watch. But I could be wrong. I don't watch tape every day. So
their D-line is pretty scary, though.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Sue, Wake,
all CFL, Cameron Wake. That's right. Dropping in the references as we can.
Got Clay Matthews.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good.
Or Chris Matthews.
Not Clay.
Yeah,
Chris Matthews. Plays in Green Bay.
Yeah, middle linebacker.
Yeah. So,
but what about St. Louis's D-line?
Oh, that's because who just signed your Detroit's guy?
Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley.
This is the new addition. Nick Fairley and Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Okay. So Fairley, Robert Quinn. Which Long brother, Chris or Kyle? Can't remember.
It's Chris Long.
Chris Long.
And Donald.
No, this is the fearsome foursome we're talking about in Rams lore.
Out there.
I think. Okay, am I crazy to think this? Is Nick Foles better than Sam Bradford? I think he is. Like when I heard that trade, I thought, wow, the Rams actually won this trade, and they got a better pick. They got the better quarterback and the better pick.
And Bradford makes what, $10 million a year, and Foles makes not even $1 million.
Not even $1 million. He's bargained. And Bradford is a Band-Aid. Have we not learned that yet, kids? But he is a Band-Aid.
Nick Foles, I think he was just a product of Chip Kelly's system.
You might be right.
So we'll see how that works out.
You could be correct there, but you know, I think the Rams, would the Rams finish 7-9 or something?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I had them like as a wild card team with Bradford last year, and they were still, I mean, almost 500 with like Austin Davis and
Yeah, they're
just mediocre quarterback.
even if Nick Foles doesn't do good, Austin Davis is there
yeah,
to take over.
So you're even thinking, if the Rams just need an average quarterback to, especially in that division, to compete.
Because look at really the other quarterbacks. Kaepernick is kind of an average.
Yeah. He's had it definitely regressed.
Palmer's kind of an average quarterback. Russell Wilson is.
You'd probably say a top 5 quarterback right now.
Yeah, but he's an average quarterback, but he wins games. So it's not like.
Yeah, he makes the plays to win the game.
Yeah.
So he's given that opportunity,
It's
and
not
we're not
like
going to say
puts up most yards every year.
Yeah, but a winner.
Yeah.
By all accounts so far. So if the Rams just get average quarterbacking, they should be all right. I think the 49ers in that division are going to find themselves last this year.
You would have to see them last.
Because I don't know what's...
Oh.
Their coaching got worse, you can probably say.
Yeah, a lot worse.
Is Jim Harbaugh not one of the best coaches in the league, would you say? And he's gone. Willis retires. That was a little surprising.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a little surprising.
Patrick Willis was probably on pace to be the best middle linebacker ever. And now...
Whoa. Let's roll back the tape here. Best middle linebacker ever.
He's on pace for it.
Pace.
His first...
Best ever.
Yeah. Look at all of his seasons. How can you say a middle linebacker has better seasons than Patrick Willis?
I don't know. I'm coming in prepared, but I would think Ray Lewis, Mike...
Ray Lewis wasn't the same player as him, though.
Not... Well, yeah, they had different functions in the same position, but still, if you're talking about greatest middle linebacker ever, Lewis's name would definitely be in this.
I agree.
In the top. Who else? So you're saying, who would Willis have had to climb over?
Pretty much just Ray Lewis. That's all I can think of.
That's all. I'm sure I'm missing. I can't have anybody. I'm sure there's somebody I'm missing, like that should be. All I can think of is Mike Singletary right now, and he is not the greatest middle linebacker ever, but he was nuts for the Bears back today. But anyway, aside, that was a surprising retirement.
Just like Worlds, if that's how you say his name.
That was another
the Steelers.
Yeah, it's
fifth year.
I don't know. It's like some.
Maybe no one wanted to pay him, and he's just like, I'll retire.
Well, it's it feels a weird business, where players retire and more of those sorts of unexpected things are happening for sure.
It's very weird.
Staying with that division, so Seattle made a big move. Wouldn't you say? I think on the Tuesday that was probably the biggest headline. Jimmy Graham going to Seahawks for
basically nothing, I'd say. What a
first rounder and a Pro Bowl center is nothing in the eyes of this NFL. Why would you say nothing?
Well, Seahawks didn't need him. First round pick, 32nd pick. It's basically
for the Seahawks, they're laughing, right? Because they're thinking, "Oh, what a great!"
Yeah,
it's the 31st overall pick.
Yeah.
We're pretty. I mean, they're not going to be crazy about picks.
And Unger was injured most of last year.
So a little uncertainty, but I think I was surprised to hear it, but it definitely shows that New Orleans is shifting how they're going to play after missing the playoffs last year, when people thought that they were going to be a real title contender last year.
And now people think they're going to be the bottom of the division again this year.
Could be. Like, I don't know, Breeze is definitely trending downward statistically, and I've never been a Breeze fan.
No.
Personally.
Just like an Aaron Rodgers to me.
I don't know.
He's not a Matt Stafford though.
I think Stafford Stafford would aspire to be Drew Brees.
No.
Yes, he would.
No.
You have this irrational love of Matthew Stafford. I don't know why, but anyway, Brees is trending downward. Now the strength of the Saints. I mean, they got the running backs. They're going to be a running team, aren't they? With Brees throwing when he has to. Try to progress this longevity out of him, because Brees is like 36.
Yeah, he's fairly old.
He's pretty old.
But they got some pretty good running backs. Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram.
C.J. Spiller.
Yeah, Spiller now is a Saint. And Kyrie Robinson, another young guy. I don't know about him, but still, I mean...
Well, Ingram was a Pro Bowler last year, and he only played like half the games.
Yeah, Ingram really, that was his coming out party. People have been wanted him, thought that he was going to be that good to start coming out of the draft. But now he's starting to show those signs where he can be a really reliable player.
Yeah, he's a power back.
But yeah, in that division, I don't know. It's
still going for my Panthers.
Carolina's... but no one's really made any big moves. Like, I guess it'll be hard to tell until the draft.
Yeah, because
with Tampa Bay, is uncertainty whether they take Winston or
they have to take Winston.
Yeah, Winston or Mariota. I think you take a quarterback.
You have to.
You have to.
Or I'm a huge fan of Mike Glennon. But
I think you have to draft a quarterback, and like either if you pick Mariota, I like Mariota, but I think you could change the offense to fit him. Like, he's worth it. I think he is. But if you could take Winston still, I mean, is Vincent Jackson still there? Mike Evans last year was, like, if you were watching the fantasy, it seemed like he was getting five receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown almost weekly.
Yeah, he was.
So Mike Evans was fantastic for the Bucs, and I mean, running the ball.
They got Doug Martin.
Yeah,
it's not terrible.
Not, he's trying to get back to that rookie season.
Rookie year.
But I mean, so it'll be hard to tell in that division. But Carolina, I still think,
as long as they get their elite defense back, which they did the last couple weeks,
it started to show up near the end of last season for sure, and that is crucial to their success. Mm-hmm. But no real news there. And then Atlanta's that they even really done anything. Atlanta,
they've gotten a lot of little pieces.
Yeah, it's not a lot of substantial moves for them. The NFC East has had some definitely interesting moves. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Chip Kelly fancies himself as like a genius or a mad scientist or something, because he is really posturing the Eagles for either glory or complete destruction, I think.
He's like the Belichick 2.0.
I think he's trying to be.
Yeah. Almost.
He's trying to get as many Oregon Ducks as he can. He wants to play his system. And I don't know, it'd be very interesting to see. It all started with McCoy getting traded for Kiki Alonso. When I heard this trade, I was floored. I really was surprised. I didn't hear that the Eagles were trying to trade McCoy.
Yeah, it just happened all of a sudden.
Out of the blue, and you're like, ooh. I'll be honest, I saw the name Kiki Alonso. Who's Kiki Alonso?
Really? I loved him his rookie year.
But I forgot about him because he didn't play.
Yeah.
He didn't play last year. So, I mean, he was hurt all year. So, but I mean, they had a definitely effective rookie season. But the little uncertainty with Kiki Alonso. Are you getting full value for LaShawn McCoy?
Well, he was a middle linebacker his first season.
Right.
And then they tried putting him on the outside, and then he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So him beside Michael Kendricks.
Right.
That's going to be a duo.
That could be a very reliable duo. I'm just saying, if you were to dream up a trade in Madden, and you offered the Eagles Kiki Alonso for LaShawn McCoy, is that trade going through? I don't think it probably is. I really don't.
What is if the Bills want it?
Oh, yeah. I'm saying if you're the Bills, like, LaShawn McCoy, we really want you. Kiki Alonso, you try to, lowball him, and you're like, accept. Like, yeah. I'll take that, because I thought for sure you could have gotten more. Like, I thought you would have had to overpay to get LaShawn McCoy.
Maybe get a first
You know what I'm saying?
rounder.
Maybe. I thought that was going to be, like, the case, but
No.
I guess not. So, McCoy out of the picture, and they're left running backless. And then a week later, they make this Foles trade, which we talked about a little earlier, but we didn't talk about it on the Eagles' end. So you think Bradford is an upgrade over Foles, if healthy?
It has to be because his rookie season, I think his name Pat Shermer. Yeah, is the offensive coordinator of the Rams at his rookie season.
Yeah.
And that he had his unreal year. Now he's with Chip Kelly.
Maybe. Like I said, I think it could be valuable if he stays healthy. But if
he's not
gets
worth
hurt,
10 million or 12 million or whatever
whatever
worth.
he's making now is not. I heard it was the day after they made the trade that somebody had offered them a first rounder for Bradford. I was like, what? It's like that's
valuable,
surprising. That's surprising to me. I thought if you get a first rounder for Bradford, you'd probably take it.
Yeah.
But then if you take it, it's like, is Mark Sanchez gonna run? Is the Sanchez gonna be back in Adder in Philly? With his cornrows?
Well, with all the running backs, you could have
I
one
guess
at quarterback.
you could really structure it a different way. And so also, one of the biggest problems for Philadelphia last year was their cornerback play. And they signed Byron Maxwell from Seattle.
Was it 5-year, $40 million?
He's making a lot of money, like almost 10 a year, I think, or something like that. That's a lot of money for the fourth guy of the Legion of Boom. You know, I think he's definitely getting paid for what his collective group was doing, what the secondary was doing. But I mean,
well, didn't all of them, all of the Legion of Boom, get paid?
Sherman did, I think. I'm not sure how they
Thomas got paid before Sherman did, but he's only making $8 million a year or something like that.
Yeah, so he got less than he probably want. But so Maxwell's gonna fit right in. He's gonna be their number one CB, isn't he? You'd probably have to. He'd probably be matching up against.
I like Boykin though, even though he's really small. He's like 5'6"
Boykin
or
is
something.
Not the biggest, and I think.
But his position is the best.
I think if you're gonna have twice a year Boykin lining up against Odell
Johnson.
and Dez. Well, maybe not Dez anymore. He's still at the
franchise.
Yeah, for our franchise. Yeah, so he's still gonna have to line up twice as your number one. I think just the size of Maxwell alone is gonna help in the secondary.
Yeah, he's pretty big, physical.
Yeah, if he can bring sort of that attitude, sort of that Seattle sort of confidence and swagger, I think it'll do Philadelphia good. I hope not, but for the Giants' sake. And then they were running backless.
Yeah.
And then
they had Darren Sproles, but
but you're not gonna have Darren Sproles taken.
Why not?
Well, he's not a.
I would.
I think that's been tried and not really succeeded.
Yeah. Well, he's always been in the Saints.
Yeah, he was always that other guy that was your energy, but So they signed DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
Again, interesting, because I don't think they upgraded at the running back position. Do you?
I think they did.
You
Everyone
think?
says DeMarco Murray was made because of offensive line. He played great when he wasn't injured before.
That's true. I've always said it always baffled me how the Cowboys did not hand the ball off more.
Yeah.
For years, they let Romo just chuck it
And that's
50
why
times
they
a game, and I think that's probably why. But the offensive line of Dallas is legit.
It is.
Unfortunately.
But Darren McFadden's not going to do shit.
That is No, I was trying to think about that. Like, Darren McFadden, he's going to play 10 games for you, get hurt.
You think DeMarco's the injury-prone
guy?
Yeah.
McFadden's always been a guy missing games.
He's unreal when he's healthy, but that hasn't been for like 3 or 4
That hasn't been for a while. Yeah.
And this year he was healthy, but I don't know what happened in Oakland. But
Oakland, it's hard to say what happened. And he's only getting that contract's like a joke. It's like 2 years, $6 million,
Yeah.
300,000 guaranteed.
Yeah, at least he got some guaranteed.
He's getting some money from this guaranteed. But what if this is a rumor? So if you watch Pardon the Interruption,
Sure.
PTI, Kornheiser firmly believes Dallas is going to go out and sign Adrian Peterson.
Well, he hasn't been released yet.
But he thinks that Jerry Jones is going to lure Peterson over to Dallas, and that's the big master plan. And Dallas ends up on top because they get probably the best running back in the game.
That would do well for
Yeah.
AP.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're talking about the best offensive line probably,
Yeah,
and so you get a little protected, and then get that extra burst off. You can have a longer career, better longevity. Even
how
though he's
long are
already
they going to
into
keep these offensive line guys?
Are they going to be able to even?
Yeah.
Because they already signed
They got
Tyron Smith last year to a
Yeah.
huge deal.
$100 million.
$100 million offensive lineman deals. Like, you're not going to be able to keep these
No.
guys around.
I heard that. I'm like, oh, DeMarco and Dez are gone.
Yeah, they made their bed here with who they're going to pay. But, yeah, it's... For Philly... See, for me, I just don't think it's an upgrade. I think Murray is probably going to have not as good a year.
But it's a new offense. It's a different system. You don't know how he's going to fit in that
I
system.
don't. No, it's hard to say how he's going to fit. I just get this feeling like it's not going to be all sunshine in Philadelphia. It isn't always going to be sunny in Philadelphia for him. You know what I mean? Aha! Yes, little jokes on Chump for Chumps as well. Bad puns, but
We'll
no,
be
it's
here
just
all week.
I'll be here well as often as we can in between work schedules. Yeah, no, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be as good, and I don't know if he's going to finish that contract. 5 years? Is he going to finish that contract in Philly?
I don't know. Depending
It's going to be weird.
how he fits the system. If he doesn't fit, he'll be shipped just like Shady was.
If he doesn't fit the system and the system turns out to suck, I think Philly's going to have a new coach in a year or two.
Well, with all these trades, they're definitely committed by now.
They are really all in.
Yeah.
Kelly,
It's like they don't even have a GM anymore.
No, it's Kelly's
Yeah.
show. He's
President,
calling the
GM,
shots.
coach.
He's doing a Jerry Jones. He's got all these levels.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
run the ship. So I mean, I don't know. Philly. So they made the playoffs first year with Kelly. Was it 10-6?
Yep.
Or were they 10-6 again?
They're 9-7.
9-7. 9-7, missing playoffs. Could be a
terrible.
Yeah, it's not
Mark
terrible.
Sanchez half the year.
That's true, but it could be with Bradford. You could be having Sanchez again half the year. So
He
it's
knows
hard
the
to say.
system. It's second year in the system, so
But
should be better.
should Mark Sanchez should have been a great quarterback. Technically, I mean, if you're a first round quarterback, you should probably be a really good quarterback.
Well, he got all these busts. RG3, Jake Locker,
Locker out of the league, mind you.
retirement.
I
There's
just
another-
don't have the passion anymore. What happened? All these. It seems like if you don't get a quarterback in the top 5, let's say, but you get a first rounder in the 10s and the 20s, you could just be getting busts. You
could.
talk about
It's a very
Locker.
good chance.
You talk about EJ. Talking about RG3, even high up there,
Yeah.
second.
That's what they're worried about.
Sanchez.
Mariota.
Blame Gabbert.
Yeah.
All these guys. I mean, it's hard to say when.
Tim Tebow.
Hey, how does Tim Tebow?
Not have it.
Serious question here. Huge Tebow fan.
Yeah, so am I.
Love the Tebow.
Revitalized my
Tebow,
NFL
maybe.
watching career.
That's true. You were sort of.
I rode that bandwagon.
I was on that bandwagon, winning games, beats Pittsburgh. Then
Yeah,
get
that
straight
was
to
a
the
good
Jets.
game.
Straight to the Jets. Probably a gong show move. He was never going to work in New
No.
York because they weren't ever going to give him the snaps. But How can Ryan Lindley start a playoff game and yet Tim Tebow isn't good enough to be on an NFL roster? All right, how is that possible, kids? Explain that to me. Somebody go and type in, comment at us why Tim Tebow doesn't have a job. Because Tim Tebow, I was watching that. I watched a little bit of that Arizona Carolina game. I was like,
Yeah.
Tim Tebow could have taken over this game.
Really?
Yeah. Why does he have a job? He won games. He won games. People are losing games and keeping jobs. He won games. He won games. I don't know what else to say.
It's true, but I think the only people that believed in him were the Broncos.
Could be.
No one else believed in his skill. They built that offense for Tim Tebow, and that's it. I don't think anyone wants an offense where they run the ball 60 times and throw the ball 20.
Well, I'm saying they should have walked in to Carolina, or was it even a home game? They should have walked into their own stadium and be like, yeah, right, Tim. We got 15 plays. You're going to run these 15 plays the whole game. And you would have a fighting chance.
They wouldn't fit in this. He wouldn't fit in the scheme. They had no running back.
Tim Tebow will run it. All he does is win.
He can't throw the deep balls.
It baffles my mind how these other no-name backups have jobs still, and Tim Tebow can't. I just don't get it. People just don't like Tim Tebow.
Some people, when you're a veteran and you leave a system, you can never find a job, no matter even if you're half decent. Like Reggie Wayne, how hasn't he found a job yet?
Well, Reggie Wayne is old.
So is...
He's old, he is.
So is Josh Cribbs, so is...
Well, he only got signed out of desperation by the Colts.
Still, he's still got a job.
There's
many players that still need a job that are good enough to play.
Yeah. Well, it's always in the NFL they cut you a year too soon rather than a year too late.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But Tebow never got a fair shake.
They did it in New York, and that was it.
No, he didn't get it. He had him on the punt team and running fake little plays, and then it was like Rex had to trot him out there on 2nd and 3 from the 6
Well,
yard
how do you
line.
know he wasn't doing good in practice?
Because it's just ridiculous.
Film.
It's just the film. That they probably don't even determine that. Rex probably doesn't even watch the offense. Rex is such a defensive guy. He probably has all his minions.
Yeah.
His goal, it's like the game is. I love when the Jets, they just ran the ball a lot. Sanchez made the throws when he had to, and they won with defense.
Yeah.
Because he knew what he had to do with the pieces he had. And that's what it's going to be like for Buffalo. Shady McCoy, if you felt neglected in Philly, oh brother, you're going to get the touches in Buffalo. You are going to, because I wouldn't throw it a lot with their quarterbacks. So.
But they got these dynamic receivers, you have to.
Play action. Maybe you just got to hope play action. You got to run these fancy play action schemes. You can do some end arounds and some wide receiver handoffs to Parvin, but you have some guru, some guy that just lives the offense like a Norv Turner. What's Norv Turner doing? He could
Minnesota.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, offensive coordinator.
Okay. He should leave Minnesota, go to Buffalo, and just draw up these schemes.
That's where Adam Gase should have went instead of Chicago.
Yeah, that would have been a fit. I think with the dynamics, although Adam Gase doesn't excite me. Whenever people, it's like the next head coach has always been like Peyton's offensive coordinator for years. When are people going to realize that Peyton is his own offensive coordinator and half the time his own head coach?
Yeah, but what about
it's his own
Mike McCoy for San Diego?
Yeah, what about
he revitalized
Phil Rivers'
career.
Well, I'm not saying he's an idiot. I'll give him props for that actually, because I thought Phil Rivers was done, and he didn't have that great a year this year. Although when you're the head coach, you also have to make sure your defensive people are doing stuff occasionally, and there is no defense in San Diego to be found.
Their defense isn't terrible.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It was
pretty. Mateo.
Oh, what's wrong with Mateo?
I don't know.
You're thinking about his off-field issues. We're talking on the field, my friend.
He's still undersized, still too slow for me.
Yeah, he's first rounder.
It's true.
Got him to the title game.
It's true.
They got rolled.
That's because he was.
They got rolled, but got him to the title.
He was under the impression that his girlfriend died.
Hey, that's
his heart and soul.
We
was
were
all
all
there.
His heart and soul. That's ruthless. No, San Diego's Mike McCoy definitely took a step back this year in people giving him props. I think.
Yeah.
People don't realize Peyton, he really is running his own show.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting. He's going to come back for another year.
Yep.
What do you think about that, first of all?
He's going to break the rest of the records he needs to.
What about in terms of Denver wins this year?
I don't think they do. They still don't have the pieces. Most of their
they were all in,
left.
and now I don't.
They're
They don't have this.
run first team now. I think. With C.J. Anderson.
Well, they're gonna have to
And
be.
Monte Ball is going to be healthy.
And that's the
And
thing.
you got Ronnie Hillman.
Peyton has always wanted to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And people have always told him, well, in the playoffs, you're gonna have to run the ball more. But except for the 1 year, 06, I mean, he's had some crushing playoff defeats. And I think they're going to say that's why they brought in Gary Kubiak. He's going to run the offense, and they're going to be a lot run heavy. But if Peyton doesn't want to, I don't think Peyton will. Because Peyton hasn't been for years.
He's still got amazing wide receivers.
He's still
They
got
yards after the catch receivers.
Yeah. What you could do, because I think Peyton is getting to a point where he's going to be broken. I mean, he had the quad injury, and we didn't even see where he got hurt there, and with the neck still. I mean, he came back from people thought career-ending injury.
Yeah.
I think, what if you just sat him out in September and October, put Osweiler in, and then put Peyton in from November on to rest him?
I don't know.
4 month. That's a Bill Simmons theory, but I'll give him credit for that.
Or just run the
I'll
ball
steal it.
more, and he'll last longer.
Well, you could have 5 months or 6 months of that, or you could have 4 months of Peyton maybe playing the Peyton Omaha set.
Yeah, but if you
Offense here.
if you run the ball a year, he'll be fresh coming playoffs.
Yeah. No,
Because if he throws 50 passes a game, that's too much.
it really is.
Because really, you
You'll
only
get
got
hurt.
2 receivers now.
Yeah.
Sanders and
And-
Thomas.
Yeah.
So Welker's gone. Thomas is gone.
Welker needs to shut down. Yeah, and maybe he'll make another all-pro tight end out of a guy.
Well, Virgil Green is
Right.
just a blocking tight end.
Right.
One of the best in the league at that.
Still have Tammy. Is he still there?
No, they released him this year.
Did he?
Yeah.
So, well, maybe he can make a guy a star, Peyton.
Well, then he
There's
did
no
that
doubt.
to Julius.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. Thomas had no
Still.
fanfare.
No, he's a basketball player.
Yeah, exactly. And out of nowhere, and he was just reliable in the red zone. So, I think he could do that again. But for me,
You'd have to
Denver,
draft
that
somebody.
division is steadily getting tougher. I think.
Tougher?
Well, tougher. Well, it's getting worse in that they don't have a real contender.
Yeah.
But it's going to be because Denver's going down and sort of the rest is sort of trending upward. I don't think San Diego's going to have that bad a year again. The defense has to get better soon.
They have the pieces. They just
Yeah.
got to put it together.
If Kansas City could connect to a receiver and score a touchdown, was that last year?
Yeah.
They did not have a touchdown to a wideout.
Yeah. All year.
That in this day and age, that is the most incredible stat
Well, you got
of the last
Jamal.
season. That's amazing. You are playing in a league where how many quarterbacks go over 4,000 yards? Probably 10, 20.
Yeah.
and Alex Smith can't connect to a receiver. He can't throw to whoever once accidentally. That's amazing. God,
Think about who his receivers were, though. They're nobodies.
Still, you
Ball's
should
like
be
terrible.
able. He might be, but you still gotta. I don't know why Cleveland's going after him, but. But you still gotta like, I don't know, connect to a guy. Like
Throw a screen
I know
play somewhere. I know, I agree, but
you can't throw it 3 yards to try and make 7 yards.
Yeah.
All the time. You're gonna have to run it downfield. Andy Reid, never been a fan of Andy Reid. Like, well, I never was because he was in Philly for the longest time, and they're the rivals. But even now, he will blow you a close game. He can't manage the clock. He's not that good a coach. His offense has proven to be not too great, even when he's had great pieces. It's Andy Reid, man. It's not. I don't feel confident in Kansas City. Well, he does, absolutely, and I think they're the backbone of that franchise.
Yeah,
Kansas City.
Got one of the best linebackers in the league.
Absolutely, Houston is tremendous. I mean, but Kansas City is. I will never trust him with Alex Smith as a quarterback and Andy Reid as coach.
He's conservative guy.
Well, he's conservative game manager, but
his contract year is coming up.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It'll probably be $100 million.
No,
it has to be. How would you give Andy Dalton and Kaepernick $100 million and not give Alex Smith?
I don't even like Andy Dalton, but I'd rather have Andy Dalton than Alex Smith. Alex Smith just does nothing. He doesn't do anything.
I don't know.
He doesn't throw to his receivers into the end zone. He doesn't do that. He didn't do that last year. Like he's never wowed me. I've never said, "Wow, what a great play by Alex Smith. What a throw." You know, I think with other players you can do that, but with him, not the case. Just not true.
I guess, yeah. What about your New York Giants?
I like some of the moves they did.
Yeah.
They weren't wild, but Shane Vereen, I really like him.
He's a solid back.
He's a solid back and
be good behind Richard.
Especially, and they can run two different styles there, with Vereen.
Yeah.
You know, so the more power with Rashad, sort of what they had like with Jacobs and Bradshaw.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
Sort of similar, very similar thing. And although Rashad's older, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of those football miles. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. Because that was one of the turning points this season. When Rashad Jennings went down, the Giants went.
Stephen A. Smith said, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, that the Giants had never had a running game at all last year. I was just thinking, who were you watching?
Yeah, I don't know about that, Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith before last season was saying, "Oh, the Giants are going to be a travesty. I am off the band."
He's still calling them his boys, though.
Well, with Stephen A., you know, you got to ride with your team. There is no getting off and getting back on when it's convenient. You know, like that doesn't make any sense. The Giants, Rashad Jennings. Week 3 Houston, I think, ran for nearly 200 yards. In Washington, they didn't need him that much, but they were heading in. I think they were 3-2 heading into that Sunday night game against Philly, and that's where it all went to hell in a handbasket for them. It really was not good. And from there, they went on a ridiculous streak, and key guys got hurt, and Cruz got hurt, and Eli had a couple
shitty games.
He had a couple bad ones. They should have won. They should have beat the Niners. They should have not let the Jacksonville come back. They should have won week 2 against Arizona. They blew a lead.
Oh, yeah.
There were games, and I've always been saying this in the years in between the Super Bowl years for the Giants. I mean, they've caught like lightning in a bottle twice on these runs.
Yeah.
There have been times. There are 2 or 3 games a year they should win that they lose because of just errors or undisciplined plays. And it's annoying as a Giants fan because you know Coughlin is a good coach, you know Eli can be a good quarterback.
No, but
he's proven it. He's proven it, so don't say no.
How do you think about franchising Jason Pierre-Paul? Because that's an iffy one.
That is, yeah, it's all right. JPP the last few years has not been as good as he probably could be. 2011 was a fantastic season for him, and it's just the rush, the pass rush for the Giants has steadily gone hill since the late 2000s with OC, Strahan, Tuck, and then Pierre-Paul. When they were NASCAR, it was amazing, but yeah.
So you think he only did good because of his
I think that was partially the reason, because you had a few guys you really had to worry about. I don't think when he's been the number one guy, there have been times where he just hasn't been as good. So it's really hard to say.
There hasn't been really much key stuff to Dallas besides losing Murray and getting McFadden.
Yeah, Dallas has been quiet, and Washington is a mess.
Yeah,
the Redskins are. Oh, sorry, that's an offensive name. Should we even not say the Washington football team?
The nation's capital.
In the nation's capital is a mess. They got no good quarterbacks, no good coach.
They got two weird wide receivers that don't really work together.
No.
Garcon and
Deshaun. They're a mess.
They got Alfred Morris. That's about the only.
He is.
Spot.
I really like Alfred Morris, to be honest. He's a really good back. But they are a mess.
You won't know what's happening until the draft, basically.
With them, yeah, they'll have to be a wait and see team.
They should trade their number 5 pick. Get a good player.
They got to start drafting.
Player.
They traded a lot of picks to St. Louis for RG3 for that pick, number 2. I think that's partially the reason they've been struggling at times. They just don't have the depth.
Well, if RG3 can get back,
I don't think he ever will. Could he ever really get? Do you ever see that where he, like, even if he's not what he was, could he ever be like a competent quarterback?
I think so. Because this year they switched the system on it. It wasn't a read option.
Right. It's more of a conventional.
Yeah, it's more of
drop
exactly
back and
what
pass.
they play in Cincy because that's where he came.
Yeah, Jay Gruden. Yeah. So it'd be hard to know with Washington for a while yet, but I don't see them having any success next season.
In this division.
No, not in this division.
This could be one of the, besides the Seahawks division.
NFC West, yeah.
The East is definitely one of the most dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. People have been trashing this division last few years.
Because I don't think the Packers, the North, can really do much anymore.
Yeah.
Because Vikings is, it's all dependent on.
I think the Packers are just always, I think they will own it because of Rodgers. He gives that sense.
Yeah. The only reason Detroit did good this year is their defense is elite.
It really was. It was. There's no way it's gonna keep up, even though they got Nada. Now, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a high level, and Minnesota's sort of a wild card. But
Chicago,
if Teddy has a better year. What Mike Wallace now? Who was the guy you were talking about earlier? Charles Johnson.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be.
And Patterson, you got still.
Cordell Patterson, he could develop.
If he stays.
If AP stays, you're looking at, a solid. What they finished? Even 7-9. They were a frisky little team at the end.
They were pretty good.
So he might have a winning record.
Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, no, it's definitely some moves there. But the Bears.
I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know what to make of the Bears. Cutler. They're gonna stick with Jay Cutler. Isn't he the highest paid quarterback in the game? He was last year.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing. He really was not too good.
He's never
last
been.
year.
He's inconsistent. His whole career.
He really has. That gunslinger, and there has been an excuse. He's had the receivers in Chicago.
Everywhere.
Marshall, Bennett,
Denver, he had the
Alshon
receivers.
Jeffrey. Denver, he had the receivers. So sometimes you see ghosts out there and he throws these picks and it's, what are you doing, Jay Cutler?
Trust his receivers too much.
At times, I think he does. And
He's got Matt Forte and
yeah, like the Bears
they
should have
got
been.
Bennett.
The reason why there was some Bears buzz beginning of last season was because their offense was going to be looking very powerful. But with Cutler, I don't know. It'll be.
That's another wild card.
Yeah. No, the NFC North. The NFC. Yeah, it'll be interesting with the NFC East having the most shakeup, especially with the Eagles and with some of the Giants moves as well.
That was an hour.
I told you this is gonna be a. Oh yeah, sure.
Are we done? No more topics?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see.
I seriously want to do a Ronda Rousey one though.
What are you talking about here?
No,
Picture he wants to talk about.
Ray Lewis, but a serious one.